Hi Sam, good to see you.
Hey Mike, thanks for inviting me for this Zoom call. It's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about it before. It's been 2 years,
Yeah, even more than that.
even
So
more than that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's great to catch up like this, and yeah, I'm
yeah.
excited.
Thank you for making the time for me. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Yeah.
So let's jump in. So obviously you're now I suppose you're a seasoned professional, aren't you?
I don't know. I wouldn't call myself seasoned. I guess I'm just like happy and lucky that I got to where I am right now. So
Bless you. That's very yeah. That's a lovely sentiment. You know those times when you turn around like, am I an adult? Like, do I have to make the decision? And you're like, yeah. Everyone's looking at you. And you're like, fuck, it's
I'm
me.
at that stage right now. Still dealing with like the perils, not really perils, but adulting. Yeah.
So tell us about what you're currently doing right now.
So I currently work at Amazon Prime specifically. So I'm a content localization editor. So, the synopsis you read in Amazon Prime series and movies, I write that. And I also localize that for Filipino audiences. So basically copywriting for Amazon Prime in 2 languages. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
And how long have you been at Amazon now?
I just started last month, so it's very new. Yeah.
And how are you finding it? Are you completely home based?
Yeah, so we're working from home maybe until next year. We're going to work from home given the current situation. Yeah, so it's cool because even in my former company, even before this whole COVID situation arose, we were already working from home like twice a week, every Monday and Friday. So I'm quite accustomed to remote working. Yeah, so it's cool.
Cool. Can you get me free Amazon Prime? I'm only joking. Moving on. As soon as you said it, I was like,
I'll
oh,
see what I can do.
I'll get back to you. Fine. So obviously we know each other because we've worked together.
Right.
And it's a special interview for me because you're a wonderful young woman, and I can remember interviewing you straight out of Goldsmiths.
Yeah, I think I haven't even graduated then. Like, I think I had a month or two more to go. Like, I was finished with my dissertation and I was just waiting to graduate. But yeah.
That was it. How long ago was that?
That was, I believe, 2016, November.
Oh,
Yeah.
it makes me feel old. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. 2016. So look, let's see. I think what would be really nice is if you could go back and sort of map the journey from getting a job out of university,
Right.
talking about that job and maybe what got you from there to Amazon. That would be super interesting.
Okay. Yeah, it was quite a long journey. So as you said, so I originally came to London to pursue a master's degree in media and communications in Goldsmiths, and I had no plans after that. But as soon as I got here, I really loved, London, everything about it, the people, the culture, the fact that, you can easily access film and art events, which are things I'm passionate about. Anyway, I made the decision that I wanted to stay here, and the way to do that is to find a job here. So unlike most international students, I didn't know that you needed to start applying as soon as you got here. And I also didn't know that, the top industries are banking and finance and professional services. Plus, that really wasn't my field. So what I did, which I don't know if it's advisable, was like find jobs in media because that was my field, and also very last minute. So I think I was meant to graduate January 2017, but I started looking for a job around October 2016. And then I actually signed up for CIUK, Career Interactive. It's like a service helping international students find a job in the UK. So I signed up for a newsletter for this company. And I came to one of their events, and then that's where I found out that, the best way to get a job in the UK is through professional services or banking. And I got disheartened. So I'm like, so what am I going to do? And then I think it was a wonderful stroke of luck because I got an email from the newsletter. They were looking for a copywriter, and that was exactly what I wanted to do. So I wrote an article about how international students, can use their skills to find a job in the UK. And then I submitted it to them. Then I landed an interview. And that's where I met Mike. He interviewed me. And then I think I was on probation for like a month, was it, Mike? Before I finally got the job. Then I got sponsored. I think I'm very lucky because not all people who are interested in media and writing are able to get sponsored in the UK. So I think that's what got my foot in the door. Then I worked for CI UK as a copywriter for I think a year and 2 months.
I mean, just to, I guess I've never told you this, but
Yeah,
it was lucky, but you had hustle.
yeah,
You didn't just sort of, I didn't deliver a job, an invite, through your letterbox. You're like, oh, wow. A few other things as well, like you love to write.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
I love to write, I could see that. And it just kind of poured out of you. Like you were really genuine, you were really bubbly, you had a great attitude. And you were I just felt that you had that sort of, you just had the right stuff.
Thank you.
And it was because you were so, I mean, you're exactly the same then as you are now.
Uh-huh.
Kind of very, very bubbly and inquisitive. And I can remember particularly during the probation period, we would sit there and edit together.
Right.
We'd go through copy together. We'd kind of, and we'd jam a little bit as well and just say like, look, what about this? And you were super engaged. So I think, yes, it was luck, but also you were kind of one of those people who followed your passion and it panned out, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so thank you for giving me that chance, Mike, because it really got my foot in the door. Thank you for believing in me. And yeah, it's true. Like, as you said, I really wanted to write. That's what I really wanted to do. And that's why I went that direction, even if I knew that, as an international student, I probably had, you know, other opportunities in a different field, but I really stuck to this field. So after CIUK, I actually stayed in the Netherlands for, I think, 3 months. So I was actually commissioned by a Filipino socialite to edit her biography called Living Life Beyond Cancer.
Oh, wow.
So I stayed there for 3 months. We wrote the book together.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then after that, I went back to the Philippines for a few months. And then I actually, I don't know what got into me. I applied for a GDL. I wanted to be a lawyer at some point because I guess there comes a point in your life, maybe quarter life crisis, where you're stuck and you don't really know what you want to do. Like, because I was thinking, okay, I like writing, but I also like debating and I'm interested in politics and current events and all that. So why not use both in a good way by trying to be, a lawyer? So yeah, and that's how I got back to the UK through another student visa for a year. I took a GDL, and in that year, I also discovered that it's not for me. So, but at least I tried it, and it enabled me to go back to the UK. And then before finishing my GDL, my boyfriend proposed to me. And then, we got married. And then after getting married, I knew in my heart that, writing and media copywriting was really my passion. So I tried to get back on track in that field. So luckily, I think through hard work as well, I got another job in an advertising agency, creative writing agency called The Creative Copywriter. I was a content editor for The Creative Copywriter, and I got to write and edit content for really amazing brands like Adidas and Thomson Reuters and TikTok and Hyundai. So that was another great opportunity. I was able to put a lot of, good stuff in my portfolio, and I learned a lot from seasoned professionals in the advertising agency. So I'm also super thankful for all my colleagues in that company because I learned a lot and it helped me grow career-wise. And then from there, actually, I just got a random message from a recruiter in LinkedIn. I didn't even know that it was for Amazon. So they were looking for like content localization editors for an e-commerce website. That was all it.
E-commerce website, right?
E-commerce website.
E-commerce website, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, sure, why don't I give it a shot? If there's an opportunity, if there's an open door, why not? And then, I just found out that it was for Amazon after like the initial interview. And I pressed on anyway. I had zero expectations. I just did what I could. So they saw my portfolio. I answered their questions. They liked my experience. So yeah, it was all very quick and surreal. So up to now, actually, I still can't believe that, I got the job. So yeah. It was a long journey from like just an international student straight out of Goldsmiths to a lost girl trying to do law school, then to where I am now. So it wasn't a very straightforward path, and there were, bumps along the way, but every part of it was a learning experience. So I think as an international student, what really matters besides getting to like your goal is really the learning, the learnings along the way and the lessons, because will really help you become the person you want to be.
Yeah, it's a great story, and I think you're making a very important point, which is there is the kind of expectation as a 21-year-old person that you think, the direction seems so simple. I go from A to B and then I'm done. And the truth is, exactly, you're always changing, growing as a person.
And you have to try different things. Like, a lot of people are afraid to take risks, but for me, I just took whatever risks I could, calculate the risks, of course. And, if I didn't take those risks, I don't think I'll be where I am now. If I didn't try those things and discover what I really wanted, then I wouldn't be here. So it's all about that, having the courage to, really find out what you really want in life and work hard for it.
Amen. Yeah, for sure. It makes me think there was a young guy around here the other day, and he's 19, right?
So yeah.
And he said, but aren't I supposed to have made all my mistakes by the time I'm 18? And I was just like, you've got no idea.
You haven't even started.
No idea. Like, this isn't Instagram. Yeah. Social media isn't real. Like, social media is just the best face everybody wants to put on.
Yeah, exactly.
And deep down, like a swan, we are paddling furiously to look graceful above. Yeah. And it's great to hear you kind of share that. And I think we'll dig into that a little bit more, because I think there's definitely some meat in those bones.
Uh-huh.
I mean, why media, copywriting? It's super specific. It's not, I think a lot of students as well, they couldn't think of anything more horrible than to sit there and write for a living. Writing, you need to be I think you need to be a special type of mad to be a writer. So tell us about that.
I mean, it's always been my passion, even as a young girl. I think my first real achievement in life was like joining a writing competition when I was 8 years old, a nationwide writing competition in the Philippines. Like, I think it was about the environment, and then I won, and that's what really nudged me on in life to pursue that field. And I really fell in love with writing because, it could take you to so many places, like in your head. If you have nothing to do, just write in one corner and create your own world. And even before that, I was a reader. So because I loved reading, I wanted to create, things that people could read. So it's kind of interconnected. If you like reading, you probably love writing too. I guess that's really who I am. So for me, writing is not just a career. Being a writer is who I am. Like, that's how I define myself. So yeah, that's why I really went that way.
Yeah, it's something beautiful, and I think there's something to be said. It's not always the case.
Yeah,
You're really lucky if you get to do what you love.
yeah, exactly.
I'm really lucky, but you can always, even if you don't get to do that. I mean, I can remember many times not being able to write, but still doing that. Have a blog,
Yeah,
have a notebook, do a journal. Like, there's loads of stuff that you can do. You can always, the flame may burn low, but you can still have it burning somewhere. Like you said, that's one. Just sit
always
in
be
one
there.
room and make a world. Go and have a coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam, for the 27th time.
Right.
Well, so you're talking about, the need to be detail orientated. Please continue.
Yeah, when you're a writer, at least for me, I have a tendency to really be immersed with what I'm writing, that, sometimes I'm not very open to what other people have to say. But I discovered that that's really important, especially if it's coming from, seasoned professionals in the field or fellow writers. Because instead of taking offense for what they have to say, you have to really open your mind, because it will help you in the long run. It will widen your range. It will help you improve your skills. So that's one, like being detail oriented, proofreading, being open to what other people has to say. And another thing is letting your work speak for yourself, because I think at the beginning of my career, a lot of people were doubting me because they were saying, how can you be a content editor and writer in English if you're not English? Like, I guess they're saying that if English is not your native language, how can you excel in writing? And, I had to explain that at least in the Philippines, English is it's our mother tongue. Like, for most people, not all people, we get taught in English in school. Our road signs are in English. Medium of instruction is in English. At work, we speak in English. But I mean, not all countries are like that. So I think it's very important to really, be more than proficient in English if you plan to work in the UK, because, it's how things are here. So yeah, that was another challenge I faced, but then overcame. So yeah.
Yeah, I tend to find when people say you can't do something, it means they can't do it.
Yeah.
That's really all they're saying. So you just think,
Yeah, so just do your thing and,
yeah,
prove to them that you're the bigger person. Don't stoop down to their level. Just, let your work speak for itself.
yeah, that's very mature. Um, what's been the biggest challenge for you?
Um, I guess at the beginning, because I needed, sponsorship to continue working here. It was really the fact that, I needed to find an employer to sponsor my visa, and I needed to work, extra hard, doubly hard than other applicants who wouldn't need a visa, because I need to prove that, I'm better than them, I'm worthy of the visa. So that was super difficult at first. Um, and that's why if you plan to be a writer, if you plan to enter the media industry, you need to have a really strong portfolio, because that would really make a whole lot of difference, and that will help you stand out. And what I even did before applying, I just I actually wrote for free for some friends who owned small businesses. I wrote copy for their website and stuff, just so I'd have things in my portfolio. But in the long run, like, it paid off because it showed my writing range and it showed what I can do. So I guess don't be embarrassed to do these things at the beginning, because there's a bigger payoff in the end.
That's fantastic advice. I did a presentation to the London College of Fashion a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Really, nice people. And one of the things that I said, it was called Networking 2020. I just said, look, dude, if someone's not paying you, then you need to do it for free.
Yeah.
You need to build a portfolio, because essentially you're all saying that you're the best thing since Alexander McQueen. I can't see I can't see that.
Yeah.
No, I can't see into your mind, and it astonishes me how many people that's such a fantastic point to raise, because it's just, I mean, it's just arbitrary. If I came round and just said, and your washing machine was broken, I said, "Oh, Sam, I can fix it." You'd be like, "Have you fixed washing machines before?" Or like, you know,
Yeah.
you'd want to see, or, you know, if you're engaging in some building work and so many other things, we demand visual proof.
Exactly.
You know, and of course, you know, we are visual creatures as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and to add to that, you can also have an online portfolio, so that if anyone searches for you, like on LinkedIn, if someone chances upon your profile and thinks it's interesting and someone Googles you, if you have an online portfolio, then they can easily see your works, and, you know, decide if you're the right person for the job before even like interviewing you. So you can also link your online portfolio to your LinkedIn profile so that it's easier. Yeah, at least that's what I did.
It just reminded me about 10, 11 years ago when I really started getting into writing, getting paid for writing. That's what I did. I wrote blogs for loads of different companies, some big, some small.
Yeah, you have to be visible.
Yeah.
Very important.
You know, and yeah, it really helped. It really helped me as well, because you get challenged to write on so many different topics.
Yeah.
You know, make bike sexy. I mean, I guess, like,
yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, before, my comfort zone was just like fashion and filmmaking and, you know, entertainment, lifestyle, those topics. But when I started with CIUK, I started, you know, writing about topics that are not necessarily within that bubble. So you have to be flexible and, you know, use your writing skills to make other maybe slightly boring topics more exciting. So, and that's the challenge of it and the beauty of it.
Yeah, great point. What would you say is the biggest misconception about the industry that you work in?
That, you know, that it's hard to save money and be successful if you're a writer, and that you'll be a starving artist, because that's not really true. You know, that's kind of a stereotype that you can see in movies, but yeah, especially nowadays, it's not true. Even before COVID times, remote working was already thriving in the writing industry, and it's the kind of job that you can do wherever you are. So you can be like in the Philippines right now, but write copy for Adidas in the UK, and it still works. So, and that's very lucrative as well, especially if you've worked with big brands, you'll get paid a lot. And yeah, it's you can really earn a lot from writing, and there's a lot of room for, you know, working with really big brands. And it depends. If you're in-house, then the work is more regular, and it's great. Yeah, you learn a lot.
Yeah, something that add to that. I mean, I'm so pleased with you certainly reached a higher level of copywriting than I have ever reached. And I think
I don't think so.
it's just wonderful, you know, writing for these brands. But a story that I'll share with you from last year,
Okay.
Anybody can make money writing, and it's so funny, right? So about, I think it was like June last year, I decided that I want to travel Asia for a couple of months.
All right.
And I didn't have a business in place to allow me to do that. I hadn't started Job Ready English. I was like, I can't really do that, and I wanted the freedom. So I thought, you know what, it's been a while, but I'll just go and get a gig as a copywriter.
Yeah.
I'm a bit rusty, but like I'll dust myself off. So I went on to Upwork.
Okay.
And
that's a great
just
platform.
kind of, and yeah, you know that like you can go freelance or whatever. And I just picked up a couple of cheap gigs, like, you know, and you get those mad gigs that are like, write 100 words for $5. And I was just like, okay, I can do that. And of course, you know, the thing is, like you said before, which was so true, your work will speak for itself.
Yeah.
So I nicked a couple of clients, and then they're all of a sudden like, have you done this before? I was like, yeah, I've done a bit of writing before. And they're like, yeah, your writing's like pretty good. And then I ended up nicking a really lucrative contract for an American company that paid for my entire Asia trip for 4 months.
Amazing.
And it's not, you know, and I say that because I personally don't feel there's anything that makes me special and different. Like, writing is just about turning up and opening up that laptop
Yeah.
and staring into the screen and putting the words on the paper. And some days you feel like the words are just flowing off you like a river, and other days you just want to throw your laptop out the window.
Yeah.
But, you know, the artist will turn up whatever the day. And I think, just like you said, you know, your journey was not like all of a sudden Adidas went, oh, Sam, they didn't just ring you up and go, Sam, write some copy for us. Like, that was an incremental journey over some years, and now you reap the rewards.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a journey, like your development as a writer. You start from something and then you progress and you progress as you go along. So trust the journey.
Absolutely. What would you say are the 3 most important skills, and why?
In writing, as I mentioned earlier, it's very important to be detail oriented, and not to get lost in your own thoughts and what you think is good. That's the first one. The second one, it's super important to proofread your own work. So, as Ernest Hemingway said, you have to write drunk and edit sober. So I don't know if he even said that, but I think it's attributed to him. So I've always, lived by that. So while you're writing, just pour your heart out, uninhibited. But when you edit, be harsh on yourself. Just really think, is this going to work? Is there a way to say this in a more succinct way, in a more concise way? Am I, using my vocabulary to just impress people, but they don't really understand what I'm saying? I think that brings us to the third point. You have to write and speak like a human being. Humanize the terms, especially if you're writing about an industry that's really technical and complicated. You have to find a way to explain things to your audience so that they can resonate with you. That's very important. And that's the whole point of copywriting, to take something complicated and, simplify it in a creative way so that you can connect with your target audience so that they can convert and, you can achieve your goals. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Wonderful piece of advice. And finally, what tips would you give to people who want to break into your industry, whether that be, copywriting, general media, what would you say to them?
Just keep on writing. It doesn't really matter how big or small the job is, or if you're writing something out of passion, just continue doing it, because it's gonna help you sharpen your skills, and it's gonna help your portfolio become more powerful. And second, just, if there's an opportunity in front of you, just grab it. Grab everything, try everything, and don't give up. Because if you doubt yourself, then that's the number one thing that's preventing you from getting to where you want to be. So just take calculated risks, take all the opportunities that are in front of you, and just, work hard, have the drive, have the passion, and that's the kind of attitude that will help you get there.
Yeah, I honestly believe that copywriting is probably one of the most important skills that you can have.
Yeah.
Because I think it just translates so well. And one thing that I've always liked is, and someone said this to me, my writing mentor said this to me many years ago, and she said, if you're writing to get paid, you need a different job.
Yeah.
Because it's not for you. And I think just like, and I can only reflect now upon that sort of the really, the shy young woman who I met 4 years ago, who like really tentatively sort of showed me the stuff that she'd written, and I, sort of received that feedback. And then I just think, how what you've done now and what you've achieved is something that anybody could do, but few people will do.
Yeah.
Because you have to take the knocks, you have to get edited, and particularly writing advertising copy is fearsomely competitive and difficult, because the market votes.
Yeah.
The market votes instantly on your copy, on your click-through rates, on your read rate, on all that kind of stuff. So to do that is a real crucible of fire. But on the flip side, if you can write copy that sells stuff, like the amount that you can, one of probably the godfather of direct response market copywriting is called Gary Halbert.
Yeah.
And he basically said, look, the beauty about direct response copywriting is that all you need, you need to work, a normal person needs to work 30, 40 years to become a millionaire. I just need to have one good idea and put that pen to paper. And yeah.
Yeah, it's writing. It's not just an art; it's also a science. So now, with like the influx of so many technological tools, you also have to take into consideration things like SEO, and you have to A/B test things to know what works and what doesn't. You have to use certain keywords. So that's the more technical side of writing. But if you're just starting out, you'll learn that as soon as you start working. So as long as you are able to nail the art side properly, then the science side will come to you. And once you have both, then it will be easier to take on, bigger jobs in the future.
Absolutely. And I've got to ask this as a last question. Recommended reading list? Books that have helped you or inspired you?
Okay. Actually, for me, what I read is mostly fiction. So my favorite author is Haruki Murakami. His works have nothing to do with advertising or media or whatever, but it's the writing style that really inspires me, because he sort of has the power to turn, ordinary situations into something surreal with the power of words. So I think for any type of writer, any book by Haruki Murakami is recommended. I also just usually listen to podcasts or like read articles online, not really books. So one of the people I follow is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah. If Gary Vaynerchuk, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he has a lot of really helpful tips. And another person I follow, another influencer in marketing whom I constantly follow is Conrad Sanders. I actually worked with him previously, and yeah, he has a lot of like fun videos and good content. So yeah, I think those are the top three that I follow and read.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Sam, and good luck at Amazon.
Thank you so much. And yeah, it was great catching up with you.